Hello, great minds. Hope you're doing awesome and amazing this wonderful day. It's my pleasure to be right before you today to, discuss something very, very important as regards improvising on your instrument. Now, whether you're a bass player, a guitar player, a drummer, a saxophone player, whatever instrument you play, there is an actual way to improvise in a way that you would capture the hearts of your listeners. Now, the truth is, improvisation may seem like a difficult thing, but the truth also is that the even far much more truth is that improvisation, if done from your heart, would give you amazing results. Here with me today is Olamide. Olamide is an amazing guitar player. He's currently interning with us at Soundbank Multimedia. We were working today, and during our work break, Olamide picked up his guitar to practice, and he played this amazing chord progression that, blew me off my seat because, some progressions may not necessarily be complex or complicated, but the simplicity of it can actually send some good vibes to your heart. And, that quickened me to say, okay, let us shoot a video. And that's why we are here. You're welcome, Olamide. So this is more like a mentorship session which I am making open to you all to benefit from. And Olamide will play us the guitar line now. He made a loop, and for you to. So basically, this is what I would almost say a very simple chord progression. But the truth is, improvisation beyond words, or would I say soloing, like some of you call it, is something you do naturally. Now, this is what I mean. Of course, you've got to practice. You've got to practice your lines, your skills, your permutations, and of course, your combinations. But as much as you practice, the aim is not for you to practice to play, but the aim is for you to practice to internalize. Now, when you practice to internalize, what you're basically doing is you're building a vocabulary that helps you now play from your heart and not from your hands. Of course, also not from your head. So the first thing you do when you hear a line like this is not to just pick up your guitar and begin to fiddle around, no. But the first thing you do, just like when you were born, you came up with a storyline and you grew up into who you are today. But there was a foundation of who you are, which is your birth. And for as many people who were there when you were born, of course, they will have a good story to tell about your coming to earth, to tell about how you came forth. And of course, they'll be able to tell the story around or circumstances surrounding your birth before you eventually grew up. So also is improvisation. When a lot of musicians, probably 90% of the musicians I have around me or around there or around you watching this video would hear a progression like this, and the first thing you want to do is to just solo yourself away. It's always amazing, yes, when you could play those notes, and if it's a jam session, it's even sweeter that you can make amazing runs and impress yourselves and push each other and challenge each other to work on their instruments. But more importantly, when you have an audience, be it one person, two people, three people, 4, 5, a congregation, of course, you have to think of how you can give them a moment that they will never forget. And that moment they will never forget is what I tag a storyline. Now, if I walk up to you and say, wow, I love your tie. Now, and I make a complimentary statement like, I love your tie and I would love to have one like that. That's a storyline that you wouldn't forget. The first line you wouldn't forget is, I love your tie and I would love to have one like yours. But now we may have other conversations like the tailor. Probably if you had a tailor who put that tie or sewed that tie for you, or the supermarket where you got it from, or the boutique where you got it from. Now that is your improvisation, that's your expression. Now, the storyline is, I love your tie. And that is the attention grabber of every listener or every player can use that as an attention grabber. So what is that repeated line you can play that will keep your listener in the moment? Now, I was telling someone else, someone sometimes back that was at a gig, and almost throughout the gig, there was a particular piece that everybody wanted us to replay, and that was because we had an amazing storyline to it that resonated to their hearts, that they could now internalize, and even some of them personalized it to their own personal stories. I had someone who was saying, oh, this makes me remember when my mother passed on. I had someone else who was talking about a heartbreak and how she was able to grow out of that heartbreak. So first of all, when you want to improvise, you need a storyline. So Olamide is going to play us a storyline. I hope he remembers our storyline. I believe he will. So please, let's hear the storyline while I'll play the bass on the background. End up beautiful. All right, let's go. Yeah, now you heard that storyline. If you listen carefully, you see that it carries an emotion to it. A storyline is very, very difficult to chase out. It's very difficult to forget. So when next you hear a couple of, when next you hear a chord progression, either like this or any other progression, and you're probably doing sound check and you have an audience or you have an audience listening to you, don't be in a hurry to drop in those skills, those permutations and combinations. But first of all, capture the hearts of your listeners with an amazing storyline. A storyline is difficult to forget, but an improvisation is very, very easy to forget. So be very, 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 very particular about your storyline. I hope that's clear. Secondly, when you want to improvise, make sure you have listened to your chord progression over and over again. Don't be in a hurry to drop your lines. Let it be more like something you do from your heart and not from your hands or your head. Now, what you play from your hands basically is something you are used to playing every now and then. So when you hear a particular progression, the first thing you would want to do is play from your head. And playing from your head simply means that you will keep repeating the lines you've always known because you have stored them in your brain, more like a vocabulary. But now when you play from your heart, you're playing what you have internalized over the years. You're playing expressions. You're playing basically more like a way of expounding on the ideas you have had or built over the years. So, for example, if I will improvise here, the first thing that will come to my mind if I want to play would be to play some of the things I have always played, which could be a starting of. Now, that sounds good, but to me, this is a line I've been playing over the years. I've played them over and over again. So, but if I want to play from my heart, what I'll do is to take my time and listen. And I could express myself in the most, would I say, vulnerable way. Now, Olamide will improvise for us too. Don't forget, have a listen of your line first. Don't be in a hurry. Let it play 1 or 2 or 3 bars before you now go on your journey. All right, I'm listening. Yeah. Now that's point number 2. Don't play from your head and your hands. Play from your heart. Number 3, I must say this, is that there is no wrong note. When you're improvising, there is no wrong note. Don't forget, if you want to cut a field of grass, if you don't have a hoe, definitely you can use a shovel, right? It performs the same function. It might not be the same method, but it performs the same function. So basically, when you're improvising, put it in your head that the notes, or let me say, put it in your heart, that the notes you are playing are actually tools and not an event. It is the encapsulation of your notes put together that forms an event of a solo. So whenever you hit a wrong note, don't be too afraid to understand and bear in mind that that wrong note is actually a passing note. So whatever wrong note you play, you have to understand that that wrong note is a passing note. So eventually, it is not a wrong note. So if I'll express something like this, I will just place my hand anywhere on the guitar and play. I'm not looking at my fretboard. I may just check my volume level. Okay, now I'm going to place my hand anywhere, and whatever note I hit, I'll start my solo from there. Now, you can see I started from... Now, the next thing anybody who doesn't understand this aspect of improvisation is you stop, you play, and the next thing that comes to your mind is you get confused and you stop. Not knowing that that note is actually a passing note. So, the only mistake you make is when you stay too long on a wrong note. That makes it wrong. But when you are quick to move further, now, let me put it this way. You shouldn't be too particular about the potential of a note, but the kinetics of a note. Now, the kinetics of a note means that the note is moving. It's not that it has the ability to move now. No, it is moving. So, if it is moving, you don't stick to the wrong note. You move. So, you're working with kinetics movement here. Let me call it musical kinetic movement. So, you are not, or let me say musical kinetics, because kinetics means movement already. So you're not sticking on the wrong note, you are moving. So it's not the potential, but the kinetics of the note. So if I come again and I play something else, I'm not looking, I just want to pick from anywhere. Or I could come here. So I'm not staying on those notes. It's actually a journey. So I'm moving from one point to the other. So make sure that you bear in your heart that whatever wrong note you hit is a passing note. I hope these 3 good ideas are good enough for you to move your improvisation journey on your instrument, whether the keyboard, the bass guitar, the lead guitar, the saxophone, the trumpet would help you move your journey way further than where you are. So we'll just play maybe for a bit while Olamide improvises. I play the bass line and bid you goodbye. So bye.